The media and our friends in the Democrat Party kept saying we needed new legislation. We must have legislation to secure the border. But it turned out that all we really needed was a new president.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's so bad right now for the Democratic Party because Trump isn't giving them a break, and even certain Democrats with common sense don't give Democrats a break.
And he's been going around with his cronies touting his so-called landslide and blowout win. But he won the popular vote by 1.5%, one of the smallest ever, and he won the general election by less than 50%. So what kind of mandate is this really?
Well, it is a mandate, and I'm going to explain why. And I don't mind the question, but let me be very clear. I'm no supporter of Trump. I'm a supporter of truth and the facts. And here's the facts. The man won every swing state. He increased in terms of his voter turnout in his favor from the standpoint of blacks, Latinos, and young voters. He increased his numbers in that regard from 2020. 89% of the counties shifted to the right. That's a mandate.
To the right, to the right.
We can sit up there and play around all we want to. In 2020, Trump didn't win the popular vote. He didn't win the electoral college vote. A matter of fact, the Republicans hadn't won the popular vote, if I remember correctly, since 2004. But they did this year. So 20 years after they last won the popular vote, they won the popular vote. They won the electoral college vote. The man won every swing state. And on top of it, 89% of the counties shifted gears. I don't understand how people can look at that and say, there's no mandate. There's a mandate.
He's out of line. But he's right.
It's a different definition of a mandate, I guess.
But the problem is that if you're the Democratic Party and you lost 49.8% to 48.3%, and you're looking at that 1.5% dip, that's an excuse for you to say, what we did really wasn't that bad.
And as you can see, they don't listen. The Democrats right now don't want to listen, and they just keep going to the left.
We should continue to do that. Don't continue to do that. Find a new strategy.
Traitor. You are a traitor.
They can't find a new strategy. Because if they come to a middle ground, they have to make certain people unhappy. But they're the party of love and everything and bring everybody together. So they can only vote for one policies that helps everybody, especially when the policy is for a minority that nobody is allowed to criticize. So how can you defend somebody that can never come to a middle ground because they're the more important, and everybody has to apply to this point no matter what? Because going to the middle ground with a little common sense dissolves your party. That's what Stephen Smith is trying to say.
We ordered all federal workers to return to the office. They will either show up for work in person or be removed from their job. And we've ended weaponized government where, as an example, a sitting president is allowed to viciously prosecute his political opponent, like me. How did that work out? Not too good. Not too good.
I don't like this moment. I don't like anything about it. No, stop the moment.
Remember to subscribe. Ladies and gentlemen, this all happened like at a joint session of Congress, and I was like, it was interesting. Trump was ripping them a new one all day, and a lot of people were watching it. And guess what? If you didn't go so hard after him, not everybody was looking how you were treating him. You were pointing finger. People notice how many fingers are pointing back, like these fingers. And they were like, hey, when are you going to address those fingers? And you double down, no, focus on the finger. And yeah, people were like, no, let's address everything.
We're gonna straighten you out! This'll fix you!
But you wanna know the craziest part? Because my mom bathes me and my brothers all together. And out of nowhere, I locked up, and then my dad was calling my name, and I started going to the slow thing, and he said, stop playing with me. And I then I started to act, I ain't gonna lie, I started to act slow, and then as soon as he said that, we was speeding all the way, running lights, going to the hospital. And then next thing you know, I was seizing on the table. They said, nah, we're gonna have to go in his brain tonight. Ever since then, I had 13 brain surgeries, and that's how many times my personality has changed. And that's something that you don't hear from a terminally ill child. They had 5 months to live. I'm gonna keep on going until my gas tanks run out. And that's when God calls you home. You never know when God's gonna call you home. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for my dad I know he's pretty proud of me, and I'm pretty proud of him too. And I'd like to thank President Trump, because if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be here today.
And now you might be saying, that's a surprising message suddenly. What did Trump do for this kid?
Joining us in the gallery tonight is a young man. Joining us in the gallery tonight is a young man who truly loves our police. His name is DJ Daniel. He is 13 years old, and he has always dreamed of becoming a police officer. But in 2018, DJ was diagnosed with brain cancer. The doctors gave him 5 months at most to live. That was more than 6 years ago.
I'm just surprised we have Democrats trying to be empathetic to a bunch of people by dressing in pink, especially women's rights. But you see a kid with cancer and you just want to sit there and not clap. So you just see the kid as a symbolic wins for Trump. So you don't want to add more energy.
Since that time, DJ and his dad have been on a quest to make his dream come true, and DJ has been sworn in as an honorary law enforcement officer actually a number of times. The police love him. The police departments love him. And tonight, DJ, we're going to do you the biggest honor of them all. I am asking our new Secret Service Director, Sean Curran, to officially make you an agent of the United States Secret Service.
Ladies and gentlemen, I know that Trump might be playing a symbolic win because I don't believe the kid is going to be a real cop, but it's still an empathetic message. But then again, on the other side, they still want their symbolic win.
But I think this was a lesson in finding one thing that you let yourself feel. And I let myself feel joy about DJ, and I hope he's alive for another, 95 years, right? And I hope he lives and the life he wants to live. He wants to be a cop. He knows what he wants to do. And maybe when you have childhood cancer, that crystallizes for you. And I hope he has a long life as a law enforcement officer. But I hope he never has to defend the United States Capitol against Donald Trump's supporters. And if he does, I hope he isn't one of the 6 who loses his life to suicide. And I hope he isn't one who has to testify against the people who carried out acts of seditious conspiracy and then live to see Donald Trump pardon those people.
Why would you say that?
First of all, I don't know why you bring it up. Because if I'm happy for a person, even if I don't agree with them, I'm not going to use their policies against them.
All right, then I will.
If somebody wants open border and they just survived brain cancer, I'm not going to be like, hey man, you're going to live longer. I hope you don't get her. What I find weird is they're wearing pink because they say Trump is anti-woman, but when they had the possibility to block biological men in biological women's sport, they voted against it.
And once again, I look at the Democrats in front of me, and I realize there is absolutely nothing I can say to make them happy or to make... And once again, I look at the Democrats in front of me, and I realize there is absolutely nothing I can say to make them happy or to make them stand or smile or applaud. Nothing I can do. I could find a cure to the most devastating disease, a disease that would wipe out entire nations, or announce the answers to the greatest economy in history, or the stoppage of crime to the lowest levels ever recorded. And these people sitting right here will not clap, will not stand, and certainly will not cheer for these astronomical achievements. They won't do it, no matter what. Five times I've been up here. It's very sad, and it just shouldn't be this way. And once again, I look at the Democrats in front of me, and I realize there is absolutely nothing I can say to make them happy or to make them stand or smile or applaud. Nothing I can do.
If you could find a cure for cancer, Alzheimer, I don't know, anything that will be against it or that will find a reason to be against it. A few years ago, didn't he speak the pointy thing? And what did all Democrats say? We're never gonna take it. Trump loses, everybody take it. It's political.
So Democrats sitting before me, for just this one night, why not join us in celebrating so many incredible wins for America? For the good of our nation, let's work together and let's truly make America great again. I also signed an executive order to ban men from playing in women's sports. 3 years ago, Peyton McNabb was an all-star high school athlete, one of the best, preparing for a future in college sports. But when her girls' volleyball match was invaded by a male, he smashed the ball so hard in Peyton's face, causing traumatic brain injury, partially paralyzing her right side and ending her athletic career. It was a shot like she's never seen before. She's never seen anything like it. Peyton is here tonight in the gallery, and Peyton, from now on, schools will kick the men off the girls' team or they will lose all federal funding. And if you really want to see numbers, just take a look at what happened in the women's boxing, weightlifting, track and field, swimming, or cycling, where a male recently finished a long-distance race 5 hours and 14 minutes ahead of a woman for a new record by 5 hours. Broke the record by 5 hours. It's demeaning for women, and it's very bad for our country. We're not going to put up with it any longer.
I have to be honest, I've never seen Nancy Pelosi so nervous. That's a wild, nervous woman that didn't clap at all. And before you tell me nobody approves of this, well, these are the statistics of left-leaning CBS, which is more center-left. Ta-ta! All eyes on Trump, all eyes on bad policies, and that's why he won. Because they vote for him, not because they like him, because they like his policies.
That ain't true. That's what you just heard. Since day one of Donald Trump's presidency, prices are not down. They're up.
Good. This is what Dems need. Consistent messaging. That is what MAGA has been doing for 10 years. We don't sound scripted. We might sound organically scripted in your eyes just because we just believe it's not fair for men to play in women's sport. So you want to justify your scripts. And people can see that.
Don't get me wrong, makosa kita bong. Put the fire na mi blonde kush hash purple skunk criollo colombici jam jam. Turloqueta verdeta welcome.